his professional career. ETSU baseball, they are hosting Wofford in a 3-game series that is going to begin this evening. Mike Counselor will get the start for the Buccaneers tonight. The right-hander, so far so good, 4-0, 2.24 ERA. Tennessee baseball, they are also playing this weekend. They are on the road, set to take on the University of Kentucky. Visit Jeep.com today for legendary deals during the Jeep Freedom Days sales event. I'm Matt Pauley with the Sports Flash on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio.
That is a big loss because all off-season, ever since the season ended, and really even towards the end of the year, what have we been talking about? ETSU. They've got to be the favorites in the Southern Conference with everybody returning next year, right? And Jeromy Rodriguez, he'd be the only senior. Otherwise, it's pretty much a junior-laden team. And then Jeromy Rodriguez says he's going to turn pro. Now, folks, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if you're Grant Williams and you think you can be drafted in the first round of the NBA draft. But Jeromy Rodriguez, yes, an exceptional rebounder. Yes, a guy who averaged, 12 points. Yes, when he was out of the lineup, ETSU, winners of 24 games on the 2018-19 campaign, fell to the Green Bay Phoenix at home in the CIT tournament. But still, did you see this coming? Maybe we should have. Because after all, he wants that old phrase from Jerry Maguire to come true. Show me the money. Yeah, he's turning pro. And you know what? G League? Maybe. I mean, ETSU has had some players try out before who weren't as good as Jeromy Rodriguez. You start to wonder just how many overseas positions there are for basketball players. Hey everybody, it's Marky Bilson, your voice of choice for a new generation of Tri-City sports fans. The name of the program is Tri-City Sports Now, and we own the Tri-Cities because I've got the best guests in the hardest hitting opinions in the marketplace. Now, in just a few minutes, 12:15, I'm going to talk to Kelly Harper. Listen to me, Kelly Harper. No, I'm not going to talk to her. I'm going to talk to Kelly Weekly. I may talk to Kelly Harper later on, but Kelly Weekly is the co-head coach of the 8th-ranked Tennessee Lady Vols, who came into Johnson City this past week, and what can you say? Haley Bearden, a couple of grand slams. Who does she think she is? Tony Cloninger? Can't even speak it. The former Braves pitcher in 66 at 2 home runs. Tony Cloninger. Yeah, he had 2 grand slams. Yeah, remember that? Okay. Maybe you don't. It was before my time, too, but, I'm just saying. It's a record that a lot of baseball fans know. Tony Cloninger hitting the 2 home runs in a game, a pitcher, if you will. Actually, the 2 grand slams for the Atlanta Braves back when. And yet, they say the National League needs the DH. Go figure. All right. But anyway, Weekly will join me here in just a few minutes. We'll also talk about the Predators. What's wrong with them? The Dallas Stars power play was just as bad as the Predators was for most of the year. They were only 1 of 13 in the first 3 games of this tournament. Should I say tournament? No, it's a playoff. I'll get the right words. I didn't get much sleep last night, so, But what happens then? Yeah. It's at that point that what can we say here? The Stars take an early lead and they cruise to a 5-1 victory. So that series is tied at 2. There have been a lot of upsets in the playoffs this year. All right. Then we want to look a little bit later on. I've got the NFL schedule is out. You heard Matt Pauley talk a little bit about it only one primetime game for the Titans. You know what that means? It's what I've often said. Is there a more anonymous team in the NFL than the Tennessee Titans? Okay, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars. Outside of that, yeah. Okay, the Raiders, they lose a home game. They're going to be playing in England. I see that their last game actually in Oakland is going to be on December 15th against Jacksonville. It's kind of intriguing. But nevertheless, we'll talk a little bit about some of the games. I'll tell you what I noted here. It's that the Patriots, they talked so much about how they weren't going to be the opening game of NFL weekend. Instead, it was going to be the Bears and the Packers. Ooh, this has something to do with, Robert Kraft, I'm sure. No. Remember, this is the 100th season of the NFL. What's the oldest rivalry in the league? It's Bears-Packers. So yeah, you start something up like that might have been played 100 years ago. I know. They were the Decatur Staleys first, and then they moved to Wrigley Field and all. Okay, but still, what you're looking at here is simply the NFL recognizing their 100th anniversary, and so they put Patriots-Steelers, a glamour game, and it's the new Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, the glamour game of the opening week of the season. All right. So what's the big deal with that? People were going to say it was Robert Kraft and all this. That's just absolutely ridiculous here, what they have. Braves, they need a new relief pitcher. Their closer is out for the rest of the year. Go figure. And we mentioned, you heard Matt Pauley talk about ETSU baseball. That is a big series. It really will let everyone know if ETSU is contenders or pretenders in the SoCon, because 2 games back of first place Samford right now, but they're tied with Wofford. So, yeah, this is jockeying. This is, can we get into that position for the season-ending series against the Samford Bulldogs? That sort of thing. All right, so we're talking about all those sorts of things here today. I'm going to look at a little bit the NFL draft. And also, Michael Sam, he's been making some news. You know what I always said? People talked about Colin Kaepernick getting blackballed. I don't think that Kaepernick helped himself out, but the other thing is I don't think Colin Kaepernick was very good. You know what I did think was a good football player? Yeah, Michael Sam. SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And although they used to say he was undersized, he goes to the then St. Louis Rams, who pick him in the 7th round, and he becomes a sack machine in the preseason. But he can't make the roster. Interesting story that came out. And yeah, I do wonder, if he had come out while he was in the NFL and not before, taking a bad agent's advice, if he wouldn't be in the NFL right now. I do wonder that. Talk a little bit about that here coming up. But no, the thing is, Jeromy Rodriguez, who played the 1 year, and he says it's a great, he averaged 11 points a game, 11 rebounds. The 11 rebounds was it was tops in the SoCon. And, they got him listed 6'7". He played a lot bigger than that. Now, ETSU this upcoming season is going to have 3 men, 6'10" or above. So, Rodriguez, maybe that doesn't hurt him as much. But here's the thing. You know that you take away Fletcher McGee from Wofford. And what do you have? You still have Cam Jackson. You still have the remnants of a team that nearly beat Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, because Fletcher McGee certainly didn't do anything in that game. And I know that the Wildcats had some injury problems and such, but still, that was a team that without Fletcher McGee, okay, you take away the best player from both sides. Actually, you make Wofford give them the disadvantage because, and An injured player is just going to sit on the bench. He's not going to hurt you. 0 for 12 from the field hurts you. In hindsight, yeah, the second stringer would have been done better than Fletcher McGee. Who would have thought? But still, he's gone, but he was gone against Kentucky. Now without Rodriguez, that ETSU SoCon title doesn't seem to be as cut and dry. I do wonder, though, what could have prevented this? And the answer is obvious. Paying the players. Now, we can discuss if ETSU would ever be in a situation in which players were paid. You know, kind of the most likely scenario for that to happen in college athletics would probably be, and this is not assured, but it would, or assured, but it would probably be that the major conferences would break away. They'd probably only be football, men's basketball. They would have their own, you know, that's what would happen. And then the other teams would be in the NCAA, so to speak. And the other teams, baseball, you know, softball, those things. We'll talk to, like I said, Karen Weekly in just a few. They would suffer. And so, but ETSU, you get the idea of, and I've been told this, that they kind of think the breakaway of the major schools, the major conferences from the NCAA is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. And they want to be in the best position when that occurs to be a bigger time athletic program. That's the plan, so to speak, is what I've been told. Okay. But would that include ETSU then possibly being able to make some sort of big cut? Yeah, I think big, so that you could, quote-unquote, pay the players. Look, let's put it this way. The only way you would have been able to keep Rodriguez, let's face it, is if you could have given him coin. I don't know if that'll ever trickle down to ETSU basketball. You kind of get the idea it won't. But then again, you know, this is a program that now can afford to pay Steve Forbes $650,000 a year. That's a lot of money. Here's what's really preventing players from being paid. It's the coaches. They don't want to start earning less. And believe me, the piece of the pie, yeah, it would be divided and they'd have to give up, even if the money is already there in the coffers, a little bit of their salary. Just the way it would work. I'm Marky Bilson. I like to think ahead. When we come back, it's going to be Karen Weekly. She's the co-head coach of the 8th-ranked Tennessee Lady Vols softball team. Tri-City Sports Now coming back after this.